We've been reporting here on Arise News that smallholder women farmers are reviewing the challenges they face in accessing agricultural credit and advocating improved access to agricultural credit. Azubike Nwokoye has this report.
According to statistics by ActionAid, smallholder women farmers currently have access to only 27% of agricultural credit, but account for 90% of agricultural produce. The women and stakeholders here have one intention: how best to access credit to improve their farming. Only 20% of these women have access to credit, mostly raised by their local contribution.
Accessing credit for rural farmers is really difficult, so we are making suggestions that will make government financial institutions, both the Central Bank, Bank of Agriculture, Bank of Industry, NISAL, and even commercial banks to think out of the box. And that's why one of the strong recommendation is that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the State Ministries of Agriculture should create a budget line, a yearly budget line on strengthening access to credit.
Though 70% of farm work and processes are done by women farmers, the challenges of accessing loan to make it easier for them remains.
If you want to go to collect credit, they will be asking us, give whether house, produce house, land, and we are women. We don't have land. We don't have house. That is our own challenge. And we need that credit, because without credit, without money, you can't do anything.
Government finance is mostly accessed by portfolio farmer, mostly accessed by political farmers. Because when you design a program for rural women and you're telling her to bring level 14 officer as guarantor, you are telling her to bring a landed property. Some of us, about 60% of us, do not have a personal land. We might have a family land. You are telling her to bring gold. How many of them have a gold?
Representative says government should prioritize the need of these smallholder women farmers and ensure that credits get to the intended farmers.
Finance is crucial, and the farmers are made of both women and men, and women constitute a greater percentage of that whole, that is farmers. So you can see then the relationship between financing them and the prosperity we are trying to build economically in this country.
The expected outcome here is, if access to credit is simplified, smallholder farmers who dominate the agriculture sector and produce 90% of output will be greatly empowered. Azubike Nwokoye, Arise News.
Well, we're now being joined by Azubike Nwokoye. He is the Food and Agricultural Program Coordinator for ActionAid here in Nigeria. Azubike, thank you so much for joining us in the studio. Looking at this data, even, the data courtesy of ActionAid actually, where it says only 27% of the credit is actually allocated to women. How much of a challenge is this, especially looking at the fact that we have more women farmers
on the farm,
in the country?
So the challenge has been there. What we have done over the years is to do what we call the community scorecards and community participatory assessment on government expenditure, which one of the area was credit. And we found out that over years, various CBN facilities that were targeted as smallholder farmers, smallholder women farmers never got access to that. For instance, the Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme Fund, you see, when you look at many states, you see some states have accessed 10 billion and so on. But when you do a deeper analysis or ask intended beneficiaries, you find out that actually they never got this money, that the monies were gotten by big individuals, traders and so on. So a lot needs to be done.
Probably not even
who
farmers.
are not farmers, and that throws up a lot of questions.
Isn't that why we're having this food insecurity and the spiraling prices of agricultural commodities?
Yes,
in the market?
Yes, because the truth is that farmers need cheap credit, cheap and quick credit, to actually produce food, to actually process, to actually do a lot of things, and even to manage post-harvest losses. If they have credit, they can buy small processing equipment to reduce post-harvest losses. For instance, annually, Nigeria loses about 3.5 trillion naira annually just on post-harvest losses. So by the time you add the current insecurity, the flood from climate change and the drought and so on across Nigeria, you find out that currently we are facing a looming food crisis. I mean, because there is already a food price crisis, you know. And when you do a deeper dive, you can't find out why smallholder women farmers are not having access to this credit, because there are a lot of facilities that are created for them. If you, at times, some people say they should form cooperatives, but from the assessment we did between May and June, we found out that over about 80% of smallholder women farmers across Nigeria are already in savings groups. You know, they are already in cooperatives.
Because usually they would say, formal group, you can't go as an individual because the collateral, you might not be able to afford it as an individual. Despite being members of these associations that is supposed to give them easy access to these credit facilities, be it from the government, from the commercial banks, or any other entity. What is the challenge that these women have spoken to you about, the reason why they're not getting this credit?
Yeah, normally the criteria are cumbersome. Normally the criteria are cumbersome in the sense that the requirements they need to meet, both in technicality and fiscal requirements. You heard them mentioning about, at times they tell them to bring land as collateral, at times they tell them go and bring level 14 civil servant officer that is a man, and a lot of things, even in registering and so on. At times they even tell them you are going to pay maybe a 5% contribution, and they pay the money and their money is there. And moreover, banks that are supposed to be nearer to them, like Bank of Agriculture, for instance, let's say the Bank of Agriculture that is around in FCT, as an example, is in the central area. So if women from communities from Jiwa, for instance, in a community far away, or Abaji, or Kwali, and so on, if they want to access credit, they will have to come to that branch. And when they come 4 or 5 times and there are delays and so on, they will give up. You know, so the truth is that the credit facilities in Nigeria have been politicized. That's why over the years, Bank of Agriculture doesn't even have enough capital to provide this credit to farmers. And moreover, apart from Bank of Agriculture not having this capital, in terms of politicization, you find out that a governor can wake up one day and engage the bank and give him a list and say, give this number, so number of people credit. And when those people, they are not farmers, they collect the credit and it's part of their national cake. We have advocated for the recapitalization of Bank of Agriculture, and government has committed to that and also put out some money to do that. But the process is taking longer, and it seems that directly and indirectly, the Central Bank of Nigeria is also usurping the role of Bank of Agriculture, which needs to be, looked into. And because they can't be administering facility where nobody is monitoring them. And we also think that the CBN needs to do a lot of work, because commercial banks have a lot of credit facilities from Central Bank that is supposed to be given to farmers. But that is not also happening. The challenge of agricultural insurance access to is there. You know, they are not educating the farmers. They are not encouraging them to take facilities and so on. Across board nationally, about only 5% of smallholder women farmers have access to agricultural insurance. And you know the risk also, because the insurance is supposed to, be an enabling environment to take care of access to credit. So the truth is that the central bank, the government, and others need to do a lot. So what we also push for is that we need to think within and out of the box. Over the years, since these facilities are there, they are not assessing it because of criteria, the cumbersome process, and so on. So we are suggesting that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the State Ministry of Agriculture should create a yearly budget line on strengthening access to credit, in the sense that they can get consultants or specialized staff who will support these women cooperatives in terms of their documentation, also train them on financial literacy, farm management, financial accounting, and so on, and also help them develop their business proposals to the banks, you know, and hold them through the process until they access the credit, and because credit also has to come with a lot of facilities.
I think in your submission, if the Bank of Agriculture, which is supposed to be, you know, a kind of buffer for these small farmers generally in Nigeria, if they are well funded, I think they have the capability, the leadership has the capability to, you know, regenerate and rejuvenate agriculture in Nigeria and make the smallholder farmers bigger farmers. You know, but is it a matter of the political will or policy implementation? Because you have the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development there. What agriculture are they, you know, doing?
It's actually the political will and commitment. I mean, these are simple. They are not rocket science. And the truth is that, I mean, currently about 105 million Nigerians are actually in abject poverty, you know. And the agriculture sector is the only sector that can provide the needed job. So, I mean, in terms of this suggestion of, I mean, putting a yearly budget line and get experts to support the farmers, that will a lot help them to have access to this money, which, I mean, money is the major thing that can make even small and medium enterprises to grow. And they are the bedrock of development. And those investments will also contribute to different rural infrastructures and market access.
Absolutely. And of course, let's not forget the part of security in the entire situation, because even if the credit is there, if the farms are not safe, these people will not go in there. But we'd have to say thank you so much. Azubike Nwokoye, Food and Agricultural Program Coordinator for ActionAid Nigeria, for joining us tonight.